Key witness says police asked him to help set up X6 killer. Entertainers called for Vybz Kartel to be freed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to look into this case because we're talking about the Jamaica's judiciary system. Is the law for some people or the law fair? Justice served for all. Following news that businessman Patrick Paul has been freed of all charges related to the 2011 shooting death of 17-year-old Kajil Mays, several persons in the music industry have called for the freedom of dancehall artist Vybz Kartel, who's serving a 35 life sentence for murder. The entertainers are of the view that classism was a factor in Paul's freedom, and have expressed dissatisfaction with the not guilty verdict. It is two sets of rules. One governs the rich and one governs the poor, Demarco, producer Tiyarro Drake said. I just want people to understand that same like how police shoot black people and get away with it overseas, we are not far from that type of thing out here where bias is concerned between the upper and the lower class, Drake said. It is funny how they found so much evidence and this and that to convict Vybz Kartel, yet they couldn't even get this man to hand over his firearm for testing. Trust me, it is not a good look, and God nah sleep. Free world boss, the producer said. Record producer Scatter Burrell took to social media to air his opinion on the verdict, along with a photo showing the accused Patrick Paul walking to his car, and the producer wrote on Instagram, "All I can say is free Vybz Kartel." Mays, a Kingston College student, was shot dead when the driver of a BMW X6 reportedly opened fire on the taxi in which he was traveling after it collided with the sports utility vehicle. Recording artist Maestro Don is a former Kingston College student and friend of Kajil Mays. He believed the judicial system is corrupt. On the brighter side, thanks for exposing this corrupt system in which we live. I'm still upset not only about the verdict, but the troubled teen act of defamation of your character was totally uncalled for. Rest in peace, Tractor, he wrote to Mays on Facebook.com. He later said that Mays was in his ear group at Kingston College. He was a jovial person. We were in the same year group, so it's sad for me and sensitive because I feel like it could have been me or anybody in a taxi. This makes me question if the law is fair to every Jamaican, and it forced me to wonder if it was just a case where they wanted to make an example out of Vybz Kartel. Like me, I have to get rid of that brother, yeah. Right now, I don't think it was a fair trial, he said. In the Home Circuit Court yesterday, Justice Lloyd Ebert directed the jurors to return a formal verdict of not guilty after the Crown offered no evidence in the case. The development comes after the prosecution's star witness, Wayne Wright, on Friday recanted his witness statement to the police in IRFM's Mutabaruka and his Step and Razor program. Key witness Wayne Wright said that the police asked him to help them set up Patrick Paul because they had no case against him, as it wasn't him who shot Kajil Mays, but someone in Mr. Powell's family. Paul was charged with murder and shooting with intent. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. One of the greatest artists to come out of dancehall is a DJ Palmer, Vybz Kartel. Everybody know that. But the fact is, I personally, not because I'm a Vybz Kartel fan, I'm going to be biased here. We're talking about the truth. The truth, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the truth. Why is the justice system good for some people and bad for some people? Good because if you're an upper echelon, and bad if you're from the ghetto or the inner city communities or a poor class neighborhood. I personally support justice for all. Martin Luther King says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Vybz Kartel, as far as I'm concerned, was railroaded. He was set up. He has to be set up. He has to be set up, ladies and gentlemen, because, one, there was no body. Two, people can say anything in a conversation. I've heard a lot of people make statements that are not true, incriminating themselves, saying that I did this and I did that, just to, be cocky. But the evidence does not support the crime. The evidence does not support you finding Vybz Kartel guilty. And also sentencing this promising star to 35 years in prison. What about the X6? It is rumored in the street that the person that was actually driving the X6 was the person who owns the X6 son. The driver that was charged, Mr. Powell, was actually in Florida. When he came home, he went to the station and turned himself in. And the police know for a fact, based on what is said in the street, because I wasn't there, I'm just taking the news as everybody hears it, that he handed himself over to the police. They know they could not win a case because this wasn't the man that was actually the person who pulled the trigger. And they know with all the cook-up thing, the taxi driver and all that, and everybody being cooked up here and there, because this shaky bad, it don't look good. It can't look good. I mean, now I go sit down or stand up as a Jamaican citizen and watch injustice being done to our citizen. Classism play a big role here. Can you imagine the judge? The judge. Remember, this little 17-year-old boy lost his life. A Kingston College student. A prominent youth that could have easily been the Prime Minister one day. A doctor, neurosurgeon, a lawyer, a judge. He could have been anything, but his life was snuffed out and his body was there to prove that he was dead, dead, dead. Yet still, you know what they did? They freed the X6 driver. Another appalling thing, ladies and gentlemen, they asked him to turn over his gun. And would you believe, up to now he has not turned over his gun to the police for testing. That would have shown easily that this gun killed this 17-year-old kid. He's still in the courts waiting for the decision on this case of not presenting the gun to the police when they requested it. Another thing, ladies and gentlemen, when they checked the records about this particular man, they found out that the gun that he has is also registered in a police name. Whether it be an inspector or somebody else of ranks, both of them own the same gun with identical serial number. If this not fishy, me don't know what else is. How could a mistake like that be made? Something doesn't sound right. I hope that in the new trial for DJ Palmer, the truth comes out, the facts will come out, and finally, world boss is freed. Now, I'm not insensitive to Lizard family. I personally know how it is when you lost a loved one. My nephew was murdered. They found his body over the Calvary Church, right smack in the middle of halfway tree. He was killed, right? So I know how it is when you lose a loved one violently, but there is nobody. There is nobody. We're not sure 100% if Lizard is dead or not. And to Lizard family, I personally offer my condolences because I understand you're not hearing from your son or your brother or your nephew. You don't know what is happening. You need closure. But DJ Palmer, I'm praying for you. All of Jamaica is praying for you. The world is praying for you. That on your day in court with your retrial, you will be set free. Because guess what? Vybz Kartel means more to Jamaica in the streets than locked up behind bars. Very articulate DJ, very influential DJ. Do you know what kind of work Vybz can do in the inner city communities? Do you know what kind of humanitarian work Vybz Kartel can do to bring the minds of our youngsters back to reality. We know you have done some songs. I've listened to some of Vybz Kartel's songs and I said, wow. You know what I mean? I know that. So I'm not trying to be, you know, stupid here. We know you have done some songs. But guess what? People love Vybz Kartel. People of all age love Vybz Kartel. People as young as babies. When I say as young as babies, you know what I'm talking about. People as young as babies and older folks. Everybody dance and DJs to Vybz Kartel. So, this is my take on it. Free the world boss, man. Let justice be served. And free the world boss. A big stone says so.